Good day everyone. This reporting is all about computer crimes. In the learning outcome, we are going to identify the common types of computer crimes, understand basic strategies for preventing and responding to computer crimes, including security measures and legal protections. When we hear the word cybercrime, the first thing that will come into our mind is the computer or the internet. So what is cybercrime? Cybercrime is known to be illegal because it is a crime that abuses the usage of the internet or any types of technologies, especially computers or computer networks. What is computer network? When we say computer networks, it means that it connects two or more devices para makipag-communicate sa mga tao or mapapadali nito ang pagbahagi ng mga files or informations. Bakit nga ba nangyayari ang cybercrime? One main reason is, of course, for money. Maraming cybercriminals ang nagnanais na kumita ng pera from their illegal activities tulad lamang ng phishing. Uso ang phishing ngayon. Ang ginagawa ng mga cybercriminals ay magsesend sila ng fake na messages in a form of link. At kapag na-click ito ng biktima, it will take them into a fake website kung saan they will be asked to enter their personal information. So by the information provided by the victim, they just gave the attacker an opportunity or a chance na nakawin either the victim's identity or steal money from their accounts. Another reason is that marami pa ring mga tao ang walang tamang protection sa kanilang mga devices or personal information. Kaya it is advisable to make your personal information online secured or use strong password or two-factor authentication para maiwasan ang mga pangyayaring ito at hindi ma-access ng mga hacker ang iyong information. Next is cybercriminals. Who are the cybercriminals? Some cybercriminals are highly skilled with advanced techniques kung paano nila isinasagawa ang mga illegal na activities. They also often perform the illegal activities sa mga bansa na may mahina na cybercrime laws to avoid being detected at mahuli. Their goal is to cause harm to other people through stealing the victim's sensitive information, prevent or interrupts a system to function normally, and make money through illegal activities like fraud or corruption. You can see here an image wherein it shows the sensitive personal information a person needs to protect. Under personal information are full name, address, email address, phone number, date of birth, marital status, occupation, IP address, and public social media profiles. Ang mga ito, mostly nakikita siya sa mga social media accounts, kaya mahalaga na you need to secure it thoroughly para hindi ma-access ng mga cybercriminals. The second one is the sensitive personal information. Under these are social security number, driver's license number, bank account details, health records, biometric data, racial or ethnic origin, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, and criminal record. Next is the dark web. Dark web is the hidden part of the internet that is not accessible through regular search engines and can only be accessed using specialized software like the Tor browser. Dark web is also a platform where illegal activities thrive due to its inherent anonymity and lack of regulation. Cybercriminals use this environment called the dark web to organize attacks, share tactics in doing cybercrimes, and sell contraband like drugs and weapons. Dahil ang dark web ay maa-access lamang through special software like Tor, kung saan hindi makikilala ang identity at location ng gumagamit, hindi na natatakot ang mga cybercriminals na gumawa ng illegal activities dito dahil hindi sila makikilala ng mga law enforcement officers. You can see here the top 3 legitimate reasons why people use the dark web, most especially cybercriminals. The first one is anonymity. The dark web is designed to keep users anonymous or to keep their identity hidden. The second one is security. The dark web is used for the purpose of being secured or safe because it uses special codes to keep the user's identity hidden, which helps protect them from being watched or detected. The third one is curiosity. Curiosity pushes people to explore the dark web, kung ano ang meron dito or ano ang nilalaman nito. Natatempt din ang mga tao na malaman about this hidden part of the internet. So, these 3 are the reasons why it attracts cybercriminals to operate in this environment and operate illegal activities without being detected or known. Next are examples of cybercriminals. The first example are black hat hackers. Black hat hackers break into computer systems with the purpose or goal of conducting malicious activities or mga masasamang gawain like stealing victims' data, sirain ang mga files, take full control of a computer system, and hold it for ransom and causes chaos. One example of this case is the case of Albert Gonzalez. Albert Gonzalez ay isa sa kilalang black hat hacker who led a group that is responsible sa pinakamalaking pagnanakaw ng credit card sa history ng United States. Gumamit siya at ang kanyang grupo ng advanced techniques upang mapasok ang mga retail payment systems, stealing over 40 million credit and debit card numbers. One method they used was war driving, wherein they drove around upang maghanap ng mga unsecured wireless network na maaari nilang samantalahin. His actions affected more than 250 financial institutions and led to financial losses for many retailers. Here is the image of Albert Gonzalez. The second example of cybercriminals are cyberstalkers, wherein they use the internet and digital devices to stalk, harass, and threaten victims. They may also send threatening messages, post personal information online, or i-monitor lahat ng pinopost or updates ng kanilang biktima in the internet, lalo na sa mga online platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. One real-life example of this case is the case of Lindsay Goldrick Dean, wherein it is believed to be the longest-lasting harassment case in the UK. His stalker, Paul Curran, followed every aspect of Lindsay's life, including her marriage, her pregnancy, her giving birth, her celebrations, and her moments of sadness and agony. Paul Curran attached himself to her life, and he wasn't going to stop. This is the image of Lindsay Goldrick Dean. The third example of cybercriminals are cyber-terrorists. They target government agencies like Department of Defense, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and many more. They also target critical infrastructures like hospitals and financial institutions like commercial banks, including businesses. An example of this case is the WannaCry ransomware attack of May 2017. In 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack by North Korean hackers infected over 350,000 devices in 150 countries. It targeted hospitals, businesses, and government agencies, causing billions in damages worldwide. Businesses also lost hundreds of records, and hospitals canceled surgeries because the patients' files were all erased. Ambulances were also lost in track because of the ransomware attack as it affected GPS information. The fourth example of cybercriminals are scammers. They are individuals or groups that use deceptive tactics to defraud people or organizations, often through the internet. An example of this is a Nigerian prince scam, which has become the first email scams of the 90s. As the term Nigerian prince scam became more popular and more people lost their life savings, awareness grew until it became a popular meme. But people still continue to fall for these scams, which already happened many years ago. As you can see in these next slides, it shows more examples of email scams, which has the same subject lines that says greetings. This first type of email scam is the greetings from Nigeria email scam. Sa email scam na ito, the scammer states that ang nanay niya ay ang dating Minister of Petroleum under administration of the President of Nigeria and he has $250 million and wanted to invest in the business of the victim and the victim will be greatly awarded for their efforts, which is obviously not true as the email sent was a scam. The next email scam is global government email scam. In this email scam, they use traditional scam wherein the scammer speaks of dead relatives with large inheritance wherein the scammer states that the receiver has the same last name with the deceased person. So, yung sinasabi ng attacker ay sinasabi niya sa biktima na parehas sila ng apelyido kaya siya ang sinasabi nilang legal heir or tagapagmana ng mga ari-arian ng namatay, which is obviously a scam, but many people are still victimized and send their personal information that were being asked by the scammer upang makuha nila ang sinasabing mana or ari-arian na nasabi sa email. The next email scam is business transaction scam. This attack asked the recipient to deposit $50 million in exchange for 10% of the money in a 100% risk-free business transaction. In this business transaction scam, the attacker will send the receiver an email and trick them into giving them money. The scammer tells the receiver that if they give the attacker $50 million, 10% naman ang babalik sa kanila. Ibig sabihin, 5 million will return to the receiver. The attacker will insist na ang deal na ito ay 100% na ligtas and the attacker will make the victim believe that hindi mawawala ang kanyang pera. The fifth example of cybercriminals are threat actors. They are also known as cyber threat actors or malicious actors. Threat actors causes harm to digital devices or systems like personal computers, mobile devices, computer servers, navigation systems, which are used for providing directions and peripherals like printer, keyboards, and mices. Example, Miss N is an instructor at Ifugao State University and becomes a victim of a cyber attack done by a threat actor named CyberBeast. CyberBeast targets Miss N by sending her a phishing email claiming to be from the school district. Miss N trusted the email, then provides her login credentials, enabling CyberBeast to access the school's database. He steals personal information about students and staffs and sells it on the dark web. So that is an example of threat actor. Next, how do cybercrimes happen? Cybercriminals love it when people use weak passwords so it is easy for them to access the victim's personal information. Some weak passwords includes, first, short passwords that are less than 8 characters long. Second, passwords that only use simple words, numbers, or patterns like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Or ginagamit ng tao mismo yung word na password as their account password. Third, ginagamit nila ang personal information like your name, birthday, or even your address. Fourth, paggamit ng pare-parehong password sa lahat ng iyong social media accounts. Kaya, it is important to use strong and unique password for each account and keep your software updated. Next, are the reasons for the increase in cybercrimes. First, vulnerable devices. Second, personal motivation. And third, financial motivation. In vulnerable devices, marami ng mga devices ang connected sa internet, like smart home gadgets, smartphones, computer, laptops, and many more. Pero marami sa mga device na ito ang walang sapat na security kaya madali silang maging target ng mga hacker. Second, personal motivation. Some people commit cybercrimes for personal reasons or personal na dahilan. They also commit cybercrime for revenge against someone by using cyber attacks to cause harm or steal information or because they want to promote a belief or causes. For example, hacktivists are individuals or groups na gumagamit ng hacking techniques to promote political or social causes. They will keep their identity hidden, then target the government websites para magprotesta laban sa mga batas na sa tingin nila ay hindi makatarungan. Third, financial motivation. One of the main reason na nagmo-motivate sa mga cybercriminals to perform cybercrime is of course for money. They want to make money from doing illegal activities even though it will cause harm or damage to a person or even a property. Next are the two main types of cybercrimes. The first one is targeting computers. Second, using computers. In targeting computers, the first category, which is targeting computers, involves crime where the computer system itself is the main focus of the attack. For example, hacking. Hacking is isang halimbawa ng cybercrime kung saan ma-access ng isang tao ang isang computer or network without permission, with the goal of stealing sensitive informations. Second, using computers. This second category is ginagamit ang computer para gumawa ng illegal na activity like fraud or panloloko or gaya ng pag-send ng fake emails that will appear to be from a real source and it will trick victims to input sensitive information.
We will now tackle the types or the classification of cybercrimes. First is individual cybercrimes. Individual cybercrimes targets individuals who use a computer or a data as their network of communication. This type includes phishing, spooking, spam, and cyberstalking. An example, a perpetrator hacks or take control of a Facebook account, which usually happens nowadays, to take control of the account enable for them to post malicious or unpleasant photos and videos. Second is organization cybercrime. Organization cybercrime mainly targets organization or a group. These crimes are mainly done by teams of criminals including malware attacks and denial of service attacks. An example is the creator of the Butterfly bot. This malware online is capable of taking control of Windows and Linux computers. Butterfly bot sold plugins that modified the function of the malware and offered to create current versions of the malware for paying customers. In this act, the Butterfly bot group, several computers has been affected, which infected almost 12.7 million computers. Thirdly is the property cybercrimes. Property cybercrimes usually targets property like credit cards or intellectual property rights. An example of this is the Oregon and Louisiana Department of Motor Vehicles in June 2023. The US states of Oregon and Louisiana reported that their Department of Motor Vehicles experienced data loss estimated around 3.5 million stolen driver's licenses and identity cards. This results in leakage of personal vehicle registration and other data connected to property. And lastly, the society cybercrimes. Society cybercrimes is the most dangerous form of cybercrime as it includes cyberterrorism. Cyberterrorism is the use of the internet to conduct violence that result in threatening in order to achieve political change. Example of this attack is the disruption of major websites. The intent is to stop traffic to websites that serve many users and whose disruption might create widespread public inconvenience. Let's go over with it as we further discuss the common cybercrimes. First is the phishing and scam. Phishing and scam is a type of social engineering trick that targets the user and tricks them by sending fake messages and emails to get sensitive information to download malicious software and exploit it on the target system. Example of this is the email from PayPal telling the victim that their account has been compromised and will be deactivated unless they confirm their credit card details. In this way, the perpetrators will enter in the victim's credit card. Secondly is the identity theft. Identity theft is a cybercrime that uses another person's personal data like credit card numbers or personal pictures without their permission to commit a crime. An example of this is the most famous case of identity theft, Abraham Abdallah. He targets the identities of the richest individuals in America, like Steven Spielberg, Oprah Winfrey, and Warren Buffett, to scam and commit fraud to the other individuals. Thirdly is the ransomware attack. Ransomware attack is a common type of cybercrime that prevents users to access their personal data on the system by encrypting it and then asking for a ransom money in order to give access to the encrypted data. An example of this is the CryptoLocker, which was one of the first big ransomware attacks that combined locker and crypto ransomware. This targets the victims with malicious links and attachments. Once installed, CryptoLocker would encrypt files on the victim's computer and demand payment to be made in Bitcoin or a prepaid cash voucher. Fourthly is the hacking. Hacking refers to the crime of unauthorized access to private computers or networks and misuse of it either by shutting it down or tampering the data stored or other illegal approaches. An example of this is based on my friend's Facebook account that has been accessed by a hacker, then tampers a lot of image and a lot of malicious videos and texts. And lastly, the internet fraud. Internet fraud is a type of cybercrimes that makes use of the internet. It is a general term that groups all of the crimes that happens over the internet, like spam, banking frauds, theft of service, and etc. It is an overall description of all fraud that uses networks, data, signal, and files to commit fraud. That is all for my today's topic. Thank you for listening.
In this discussion, I'll be covering several major forms of cybercrimes, like cyberbullying, cyberstalking, software piracy, social media frauds, online drug trafficking, electronic money laundering, online recruitment fraud, and cyber extortion. The first type of cybercrime is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is the act of using digital platforms such as social media, messaging apps, or gaming forums to harass, embarrass, or intimidate individuals, often repeatedly. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying can reach its victims at any time and can spread quickly due to the viral nature of online communication. There are many cases of cyberbullying here in the not only here in the Philippines but also in other countries. Like for example this is the case of Amanda Todd of Canada in 2012. Amanda was a Canadian teenager who suffered from prolonged cyberbullying after a person she met online blackmailed her with intimate images. Amanda faced continuous online harassment and social media attacks. This ultimately led to her tragic suicide, and her story highlights how relentless cyberbullying can be. The next form of cybercrime is called cyberstalking. In cyberstalking, this involves the use of the internet or other electronic means to stalk or harass an individual, a group, or an organization. It often involves threats, monitoring someone's online activity, or gathering information to cause harm. The example of cyberstalking can be seen in the case of Rihanna, where Rihanna's cyberstalker in 2013, an obsessed fan stalked the famous singer Rihanna both physically and online, threatening her life and leaving disturbing messages on social media. And the stalker was eventually arrested, but this demonstrated how cyberstalking can target high-profile figures and ordinary individuals. The third type of cybercrime is the called software piracy. When we say software piracy, this refers to the illegal copying, distribution, or use of software without proper authorization. It is a significant issue in the tech world, leading to billions of dollars in losses for software developers. A case where software piracy can be seen is the pirated Microsoft Office and Adobe softwares. Many individuals and businesses globally use pirated versions of expensive software like Microsoft Office or Adobe Photoshop. This widespread practice has cost companies billions in revenues and left users vulnerable to malware. The next type of cybercrime is social media frauds. Social media frauds involve exploiting platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and many more online popular platforms. Now guys, let's move on to the forms of social media frauds. The first form of social media fraud is the romance scams, in which the fraudster or scammer will pose as to have love interest to the victim to build trust and later on ask for money. And the second form of social media fraud is the fake giveaways. And the scammers will lure the victims by promising large rewards or prizes in exchange for their personal information or payments. And the third one is impersonation, in which creating fake profiles to impersonate celebrities or friends to defraud people. An example of social media fraud that happened is the Twitter cryptocurrency scam that happened on 2020. The scammers hacked the Twitter accounts of high-profile individuals, including Elon Musk and Bill Gates, to promote a fake Bitcoin giveaway, and the victims sent Bitcoin in hopes of doubling their money, but it was all a hoax. And let's move on na guys to the other types of cybercrimes, which is the online drug trafficking. In definition, online drug trafficking is the sale of illegal drugs via the internet, particularly on the dark web, where users can buy substances anonymously using cryptocurrencies. The drugs purchased by online are often delivered through postal services and making it harder for law enforcement to track. And an example of this that happened is the Silk Road. That happened 2011-2013. Silk Road is the infamous online black market sold illegal drugs, weapons, and other illicit items, until the FBI shut it down in 2013. Its founder is Ross Ulbricht, and sentenced to life in prison. And the next one is the electronic money laundering. Electronic money laundering is the process of disguising the origins of illegally obtained money by using digital transactions, and it typically involves moving large sums of money through cryptocurrency or online banking systems to avoid detection. An example of this electronic money laundering is the Alexander Vinnik or the BTC case of 2017. Vinnik was accused of laundering billions of dollars using BTC or Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency exchange, to clean money obtained through ransomware attacks. Now, let's move on to the other types of cybercrimes. And the next type of cybercrime is the cyber extortion. In definition, cyber extortion is a crime in which an individual or group demands money or favors in exchange for not carrying out a cyber attack, releasing sensitive information, or restoring access to encrypted data. And one of the cases of cyber extortion is the WannaCry ransomware attack of 2017. WannaCry infected hundreds of thousands of computers in 150 countries, encrypting data and demanding Bitcoin as ransom. And it affected not only the government but also hospitals, businesses, and other agencies, causing widespread disruption.
Next is intellectual property infringement. This happens when someone uses or copies someone else's creative work or invention without permission. An example of this is the case of ABS-CBN Corporation. ABS-CBN is a major television network in the Philippines which took legal action against websites that were showing its TV shows and movies without permission. ABS-CBN won a judgment for $27 million against those website operators for unauthorized distribution of its content.
The next one is the online recruitment fraud. In definition, online recruitment fraud involves scammers posting fake jobs, offers, or contacting job seekers to steal personal information or trick them into paying for non-existent employment opportunities. Ang example naman nito is the case of Indian job scam of 2020. The scammers pose as recruiters for major companies like Google and Microsoft, offering job seekers opportunities in exchange for a fee. And many victims lost their savings to these fraudulent schemes. Let's move on to our next topic, which is the Revil and Kaseya ransomware. For now, let's define first what Revil is. Revil, also known as Sodinokibi, was a group of Russian-speaking or Russian-based cybercriminals that once ran a highly successful ransomware as a service, in short, RAAS. RAAS pala. Revil is short for Ransomware Evil, a title inspired by the Resident Evil media franchise. The group was believed to be an offshoot from a previous ransomware gang called GunCrab. The Revil or Sodinokibi ransomware is difficult to detect and highly evasive, making it a very potent and dangerous type of cyber attack. Revil ransomware has been responsible for several high-profile ransomware attacks on large enterprises, including the meat processing company JBS, the oil company Colonial Pipeline, the software company Kaseya, and a supplier of the tech giant Apple. The Revil ransomware group was active from 2019 until January 2022. When it was dismantled by law enforcement, despite its demise, the influence REvil had on developing the RAAS business model continues to pose a significant threat to the government and organizations around the world. And let's move on agad sa Kaseya incident. So ano nga ba ang Kaseya and how did the attack in July 2021 happen? The Kaseya is a limited company founded by Mark Sutherland and Paul Wong. It is a global company headquarters in Miami that develops AI-powered software for cybersecurity, network monitoring, system monitoring, and other information. It is majority owned by Insight Partners and maintains the naming rights to the Kaseya Center. The name of the company means protect and defend in the Slox language. And the company was estimated to be valued $12 billion in April 2023. And that is what the Kaseya. So, let's talk about naman how did the attack happen. To make it simple guys, the REvil gangs hacks into the system of Kaseya company and they exploited a vulnerability in Kaseya's VSA software, and which is a tool used for remote IT management and monitoring. And that attack led to a massive breach affecting numerous businesses globally.
Next, Yaroslav Vasinski is also known as Robotnik. According to CNN News, he is a Ukrainian national who was sentenced to more than 13 years in prison and ordered to pay $16 million in restitution for helping to conduct a 2021 ransomware attack that infected hundreds of businesses in the US and abroad. According to Justice Department News, he is associated with the ransomware gang REvil, who played a role in conducting over 2,500 ransomware attacks and demanding over $700 million in ransom payments. CNN also reported in 2021 that Vasinski had been accused of deploying ransomware on Florida. He demanded millions of dollars in payment in order to stop the attack. That is all for our reporting on Chapter 6. Thank you for watching and have a good day.